Welcome into another week of Power 4 picks over here on Better and Green. We are on to week 10 in college football. It is starting, it's Halloween today. So, first of all, happy Halloween. We have November starting tomorrow. Absolutely crazy how fast the season's going. But really good football this week and really good football in the month of November with conference championship games, with rivalry games in the last week of November. So, a lot of good football ahead of us. Super excited. We won't touch quickly on, or we won't touch long on last week's performance. I went 2-3. Ethan, you went 1-4. Not our best. Ethan, you are 21, 23-1. I am 22, 21-2. So still pretty much break even for the both of us. We'll try to do better this week. And there are some tricky games and some games that I'm feeling that I'm just betting on it because I hate this other team. And not a great strategy, but we'll see how it works. But Ethan, welcome. How you feeling about college football week 10?
Yeah, I never know that record from last week until you tell me right here live on the show. So that was a bit shocking to me. But I think back to Saturday and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not that shocking. Um, but yeah, survived another week at least with my actual bet. So I lost like maybe a unit and a half, I think. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, need to get that record to positive. We're kind of running out of weeks here. The worst part about it being week 10 is we're not even into the part of the season where it absolutely flies by. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's Halloween today, November tomorrow. I know you and I both hunt or like to hunt like when we can. That's coming up. My birthday comes up, Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday. Like the year's going to be gone before we know it. It's going to be New Year's before we know it. So, and that means football is basically done. So that's always just, it's tough when we get to this time of year because there's so much going on. Basketball starts up and I just feel like it flies by. Um, I hate this slate. I think I was digging in every single game, not only the games that we're talking about. I think I have two bets that I'm going to lock in on Saturday, and that's probably it. This is one of my least favorite slates that we've had all season. A lot of big spreads, and yeah, I just can't find much. So, both bets I'm going to make are in games that we're going to be talking about. So I guess that's good. But yeah, just not really in love with this slate.
Yeah, I'm not either. I might have a better too. I haven't looked quite at the board yet. I'm behind this week, so I'm really trying to get some work done tonight on diving in more into the board in both NFL and college football. So yeah, don't have a whole lot of confidence going into it. But last week I felt pretty good and we suck. So maybe this is a new turn for us. But let's get started here. At noon, a SEC matchup. We have number 9 Vanderbilt at number 20 Texas. Texas is a 3-point home favorite over under 46.5. Now, from what I'm seeing, Arch questionable to play, still in or concussion protocol, but he's practicing. So I think he's going to play. Regardless, here, I'm going to take Texas. And I don't love it, but Texas is still fighting for that last, probably the 11th seed in the college football playoff. Vanderbilt's feeling pretty high and mighty at the moment. They are really battle tested, and Texas is looking really bad against some very mediocre opponents. So I think people are going to be jumping all over Vandy. Who's going to take Texas with a questionable Arch Manning? And I honestly like it better if Arch is going to be out, and I think you're going to get that line. I don't know, maybe it shifts all the way to Vandy being a favorite. I hope that kind of happens, honestly, because I think Texas is going to win with or without Arch. So, yeah, give me Texas here. I'll take them on the -3 for right now, but this line might be moving between now and kickoff at noon tomorrow. Ethan, what do you like?
Yeah, I love Texas. This is my favorite play on the board for Saturday here. Yeah, and the issue is the status of Arch Manning. Not really because I care in the game. I don't whatsoever. It's because I don't know if I should jump in now where the line sits or if I should wait. Because, like you said, if Arch plays, I wouldn't be shocked if this goes to 4.5. If Arch sits, I bet it closes pick 'em. So I don't know if I want to jump in now. I would actually maybe lean towards Arch not playing this week. I know they're going to do everything they can probably to get him to play, but concussion it's just one of those different things where like the choice isn't fully up to them. Um, so I just don't know. He has to be cleared. We're running out of time. I guess we'll probably find out, today if Arch is going to be in or not. But regardless, like you said, I would prefer Arch being out. Arch clearly isn't the player that people hyped him up to be, and it's not his fault. It's just media's fault, to be honest with you. Um, but just hasn't looked that good really at all this season. So I would actually prefer a shorter price with their backup quarterback um, in this game. But yeah, at the end of the day, Texas is at home. They're the higher power rated team. I know their record isn't better, their rating isn't, or their ranking isn't better, but power rating wise, they are better than Vanderbilt. Um, just think it's a short price with how Texas has struggled this year. Vanderbilt has built up a betting bandwagon where Texas is quite the opposite. They've scared off their betting bandwagon coming into the season. And then Texas just, finding ways to win games, back to back overtime wins. So laying points with them, I think, is probably going to scare some people off. But I just think it's kind of at the end of the road here for Vanderbilt. Off two really nice wins, LSU and Missouri, but those were both at home. They hit the road now. Their last road game was against Alabama, where they were not necessarily dominated, but I think in the second half, you never really felt like they were going to win that game. And that was really their only road test. They played at Vodtech, at South Carolina. I believe that South Carolina game was when Stellars got knocked out. So this is their biggest road test since the Alabama game, which was their one loss on the season. Don't like Pavia on the road as much as I do at home. Think Texas is better. Hope we get the injured quarterback here. They have a bye week before Georgia, so no real look ahead. Yeah, I like Texas here. It's my favorite play of Saturday.
Awesome. We're in agreement here. And yeah, I would say Texas is probably my second favorite play. Do like Texas quite a bit. We'll move again. We're trying to keep it from chronological order here. So at 3:30, it's not a ranked matchup, but we do have number 5 Georgia at unranked Florida. Georgia is a 7-point favorite on the road. Over under is 50.5. What do you got in this? Also another SEC matchup.
I don't know, man. I don't know about this game at all. I'm not betting it. I could literally see it going either way. Part of me wants to play Georgia because it is over the touchdown, although that line's come down. I think this opened 9.5, but the 7.5 always kind of, I feel like, baits you into trying to take that underdog because you get the hook on that touchdown. And I do think Georgia's, the better team here, but this is a scrappy Florida team that's been scrappy all year. I know they haven't won games, they haven't looked that great, but they're staying relevant, staying consistent. They're off a win and a bye week. Um, I don't know. This is just I feel like a bigger game for Florida. I feel like Georgia could potentially overlook them at home, getting more than a touchdown. I'm going to lean with Florida here. Um, and I do think, when Florida's at their best, I think they can compete with these big boys in the SEC. Um, but when they're not, they're not beating anybody. So it's just tough. It's really asking yourself, what Florida team are we getting? But I'm going to lean Florida plus the points. It's not one that I'm overly excited about.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. I'm seeing money coming out in Florida. I'm seeing people I follow taking Florida. Florida, they don't have their coach, right? He's canned, right? Napier.
I think he's still technically there.
Is he still there?
Oh,
There's
that's
so
because
many
you know
coaches this year that are absolute that are
he's a
gone.
dead
I
man
can't keep
walking.
track. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, the other Napier from Colorado State is gone. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I saw that headline like last week. I was like, oh shit, Florida finally did it. It's coming. God, I kind of wish he was fired though. I'd take Florida even more. But
He didn't even get to choose his Halloween costume this year. Chose for himself. Mummy.
good God, that's good. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Georgia, I feel like is great at moments, and then they should have lost to that Auburn team. They were close. It was a good one against Ole Miss. Took Tennessee to overtime. I know it was at Tennessee, but I don't think Tennessee's very good. Very hit and miss Georgia team, and this Florida, like they're 3-4, but they battled with Alabama. They battled with Miami, even though that score is out of proportion. They battled with LSU, even though LSU's not fantastic. They beat Texas. They beat a scrappy Mississippi State team. They kind of got exposed by Texas A&M, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to get a competitive game here. I think it's going to go back and forth. I think it's going to be pretty low scoring as well. So I'm going to lean here with you on Florida spread. I think it's the only way if you want to bet that game, unless you want a total. And I would probably say the under as well in this game. But yeah, I think Florida can keep it close and hopefully entertaining for us. Also, we're coming to that time where I feel like we're going to get like a crazy upset that's going to throw the whole college football playoff bracket for a loop. I'm not saying it's going to be Georgia, but another Georgia loss would throw it for a loop. A Texas and Vandy has huge implications. This next game we're going to talk about, Oklahoma and Tennessee, huge playoff implications. So it's coming to that time of the year where every single win and every loss is super magnified. So just keep that in mind for future thought. And just I know we like thinking about the headlines, so keep that
Yep.
in mind. Let's go to the our third SEC game, number 18 Oklahoma at number 14 Tennessee. This is at 7:30 Eastern time. Tennessee is a slight favorite, 2.5. I'm seeing at home, over under 55.5. Um, yeah, I would say this is probably my least favorite game here. I'm gonna lean with Oklahoma. I think they're the better team. I know they just lost to Ole Miss when we were both on Oklahoma. They got destroyed by Texas. Ah, I I don't think Tennessee's good. And that's my only reason. I do think Oklahoma is a pretty solid team. Their defense is fantastic, and if John Mateer can play well, Oklahoma is going to be a problem. And Tennessee, their two losses this year are to Georgia in overtime, pretty good performance there. Alabama by 17. Their only wins, they probably have to have some good wins, right? Their only wins from Tennessee, um, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Kentucky. I mean, those are just bottom Syracuse, who's ass. I mean, these are just bottom feeders in the SEC and just a really bad ACC team. I know that again, really impressive loss to Georgia in overtime, sure, but just I haven't seen one good win from Tennessee, and I'm not. I don't know. I'm kind of talking in circles here. I think Oklahoma's a better team. I'm going to bet the better team. I know it's at Tennessee, very tough place to play. I think Oklahoma's better. Give me Oklahoma on the spread. I could have made that way easier, and I tried to talk around a whole freaking circle. I'm sorry, but Oklahoma spread for me. Good God.
Dude, I get why you did though, because this game, there is no betting. If you feel confident about this game, good for you. But there's literally nothing here. These teams are about as even as it gets. They're both 6-2. They both have a bye on deck. I've been looking at strength of schedule. They're literally right next to each other, 17th and 18th, toughest strength of schedule this season. The loser of this game, it's you want to fade the loser of this game next week because their hopes of going to the playoff will be over, which one of these teams will get their third loss. So, that's probably the best betting advice I could give is just whoever loses this game, go fade them. Well, you're not going to get to because they're both on bye. Uh, hold that thought for 14 days. Go
And then they
fade
come
them.
back and play the Citadel.
Yeah,
So
true, true. Well, yeah, I think Tennessee does. They come back and play New Mexico State, and Oklahoma. I think has Bama. So maybe fade Oklahoma against Bama if they lose. But I lean Tennessee. And this feels like a coin flip. Typically in coin flip games, I'll just take the points out of principle. But I don't know at home, which is basically telling you it's a complete even matchup because you probably get 2.5 points for a home field advantage, which obviously Tennessee 2.5 point favorite. Yeah, I lean Tennessee. If you want to bet it, I'd take the money line all day, but um, that's about as even as of a game that we've probably ever talked about on this show.
yeah, it's a tough one, and I think these two teams are very similar in the SEC. I think they're above the bad teams and below the great teams. I know the SEC has 40 ranked teams in the top 25. It seems like, and these two teams I think are all yeah. We'll give them rank 18. That seems about right for these guys. They're like sixth or seventh best in the SEC. And it's just hard when they play each other. Okay, this next game is a hate bet for me. I'm calling this a Wyatt hate bet. Not a whole lot of brain thought in here. It is a fishy line, but it's more me hating on this team, even though I love this team to start, which is kind of freaking crazy. Anyways, we'll get into it. Number 8, Georgia Tech at unranked NC State. Once again, very small line for Georgia Tech. They're a 5.5 point favorite. They're number 8 in the country. They are. Is there still 6 undefeated teams? There might still be 6 undefeated teams. They're one of them. Over under of this game is a whopping 58.5. Now, so I don't hate Georgia Tech. I love Haynes King. He's my guy. The problem with Georgia Tech and why I love them so much last year is they were an underdog. They weren't very good. They battled really close with really good teams. Now they are a favorite, but still not a great favorite. Small favorite. I know they're at NC State, but still small favorite. They're not good. Like, I know they're undefeated. I get it. I just don't think they're freaking good. I think they're going to get dog walked by Georgia to end the year. I think they're going to lose at least one more game, and we're running out of games to fade them. I mean, let me pull up there. They have NC State, They have Boston College, who's bad. They have Pitt, who can definitely they can definitely lose to. Then they have Georgia. I think they're going to get destroyed. I know they took Georgia to OT. Was it last year for like 7 OTs? I just
Mhm.
don't think Georgia Tech's good, and it's the problem that I have with overrated teams. BYU is one of them. Thankfully, we're not talking about this week. BYU super overrated. Virginia super overrated. And I get to these points where I I guess it comes off as hate, but it just comes off as I can't bet you. I have to fade you. I have to fade you. I have to fade you. And that might come off as hate. There's no disrespect. I just don't think Georgia Tech is a number 8 team in the country. I don't think they deserve to be in the college football playoff. I know they right now they do because they're undefeated. Come week 13 or 14, whatever, I don't think they're going to be in the picture, to be honest. So they're going to lose at least 2 more games. I'm going to take NC State as a home dog here, plus 5.5. It's a short line. They're 4-4. Really not fantastic for NC State. It's the same old NC State crap we've been seeing for God knows when. They did beat Virginia, but again, doesn't mean anything because Virginia is overrated. They battled with Duke, battled with Vodtech. I mean, this isn't a good team. Got smoked by Notre Dame. Let's be honest. This is not a good team. Just got smoked by Pitt. But if it's going to be a 58.5 point total, I think NC State has the capacity to score 30. And that means it's probably going to be a close game. So give me NC State on the spread. I'm hoping they upset it. So my takes on Georgia Tech will finally come true. But again, no disrespect to Georgia Tech. They're severely overrated and it comes off as, hey, I'm sorry, just can't bet them. And I know I just went on a long thing. I had to explain myself because I've been ripping on Georgia Tech. And they were my little princess at the beginning of the season. And oh, how the turntables. But yeah, NC State plus 5.5. Anyways, long story short.
Yeah, you should turn that hate into love because you get these betting opportunities against all these
Yeah.
overrated bad teams, and not only now, but I mean, I just salivate over. I crush you and I think both crushed the college football playoff last year, and it's because of this. We got Georgia Tech, who if they make the college football playoff, they're gonna be like a 12.5 point dog to Oregon, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's as easy as it gets. And public loves their little underdogs there in the college football playoff. I mean, it's just I cannot even wait to get into betting those. So I hope Georgia Tech makes it. I hope BYU makes it. I hope Virginia makes it. Some of these teams that are just going to get dog walked by any SEC, any Big Ten, um, you know, probably the Big 12 champion as well. They're just going to get wrecked by whoever they get matched up with. So yeah, I look forward to those matchups. But for this game, I do think NC State is the live dog. This is my second bet that I'll be making for the week. And yeah, I think it's just the time to fade Georgia Tech. I don't do my own power ratings, but I have been keeping up with a couple different sites and guys that I listen to. Georgia Tech is a unanimous outside the top 30 power rated team in football, and they're ranked in the top 10. So, I mean, that just tells you all you need to know. It's time to fade them. I know they've been covering. I know you and I both love Duke at home 2 weekends ago, and yes, Duke failed to cover that game. Georgia Tech won by I think 9. But if you watch that game, Duke fumbled the ball going into score, literally like at the 1 yard line. It was scoop and score 99 yards the other way. A couple other plays that just really flipped that game on top of its head. And you were still less than a touchdown away from covering with Duke. So that result to me just a little bit fluky. They covered again last week against Syracuse. They're not just going to, once these top 10 teams get on these cover streaks and get this recognition, that's when you got to come in and go the other way because it doesn't keep up. Vegas is going to get hammered if Georgia Tech keeps covering these games because they are America's kind of sweetheart underdog right now. And then you look at their road games. So yeah, we just mentioned the Duke game that could have easily been a Duke cover, probably a Duke outright win. They were road favorites against Wake Forest. Wake took them to overtime. I think went for a 2-point conversion when they could have kicked the extra point, failed it, lost by a point to Georgia Tech. So and before that, they haven't played a road game since week 1 against Colorado. So it's only their 4th road game of the season. Haven't really looked that great in either of their last 2. I'm throwing out week 1 because no one knew Georgia Tech was going to be this good coming into the year. So, yeah, I think NC State, like you said, they're nothing to write home about. They're not a sneaky good team. They're 4-4. They do have the early season win against Virginia. They've lost 4 of their last 5, and the line is well under a touchdown. Give me NC State pulling the outright upset. I think NC State wins the game. I'll happily take the points. But yeah, just time to jump in front of Georgia Tech because they're severely overrated.
Yeah, I love it. And a couple things I want to mention before we move on. I'll keep it short because I can keep going on just these overrated teams. But you see it every year where a team like this, and it happens a lot in the ACC, but it happens in the Big 12 as well. Not so much in Big 10 SEC, but a team, 8-0, whatever they are, couple games left against very easy opponents, and they'll just lose one outright out of the blue. We saw it. I think it was last year. Miami lost to, I think it was Pitt or someone bad just out of the blue, like week 12. And they're just like, oh, that there goes their chances. All they had to do is win out against 500 teams that aren't even good compared to Big Ten and SEC teams, and they can't do it. So that's what I want to mention. Also, if you like oppose my thinking of a team's overrated, just do a hypothetical line. What would Georgia Tech spread be against Alabama? What would Virginia spread be against Ohio State? What would BYU spread be against Notre Dame? And it would be double digits in every single situation. So sure, rankings mean something, but as soon as you put them up against the big dogs, they get exposed. And that's, I think, why we make money in the college football playoff, because it's no longer rankings. It's just a good team versus bad team, or good team versus your record's good, but you played no one. And anyways, I can go on and on. So I got to
Just
cut
a
myself
quick,
off.
I'll cut myself short too, but I believe Texas on a neutral site would be a double-digit favorite over Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I'm
Florida might
interested to
be.
see this Georgia Tech line. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what Georgia Tech does, but because there was also that. Was it last year? Was it
Yep.
last year that won
That was your Haynes King
$2,500 on
game.
Haynes King?
Yep.
So maybe they're going to take that into factor, because that one's what, 5, 6 OTs,
Yep. They
and
should
I
have
think
won.
Georgia was multiple. I think they were at least a double digit favorite in that game. Anyways,
Yeah.
just yeah, I think it should really just be two conferences, SEC and Big Ten. So, anyways, I got into I'm going to go one more thing. Last Big 12 champion was 2005, and that team is now in the SEC, and that was Texas with Vince Young. So, yes, they have been irrelevant since God knows when. ACC's been irrelevant since Dabo Swinney and Trevor Lawrence, which is 2019. Anyways,
Yeah.
post COVID, it's been SEC and Big Ten. Anyways, let's move on to a Big 12 matchup, the best conference in football. This is a nightcap, 10:15 Eastern time. We have number 17 Cincy at number 24 Utah. If you think Cincy's over, or if you think Georgia Tech's overrated, let me introduce you to Cincinnati. They are a 10.5-point dog. I know they're at Utah, very tough place to play, against a team that's 7 ranks behind them. So just in your head, what would Cincinnati be? This Cincinnati team also lost to Nebraska. What would this Cincinnati team, even against Michigan, what would the spread be in that game? I think Michigan's a double-digit favorite as well. Anyways, I'm all over Utah. I'll keep this one really short. I actually just placed Utah on DraftKings to win the Big 12. I know they have 2 losses in the Big 12, not super advantageous there, but when you also have a BYU team that's undefeated in the Big 12. But they're plus 2,000. I put $5 on it to win 100. I mean, come on. I could definitely see it happening. If they're 10.5-point favorites against ranked Cincinnati, I mean, this team is their own destiny. They're going to beat themselves, which they've done multiple times this year. They also got smoked by Texas Tech and bad loss against BYU. Anyways, I'm all over Utah. I think Cincinnati is severely overrated. Give me Utah minus 10.5 in this game.
Yeah, I like that plus 2,000 on Utah to win the conference. I guess your only fear, or not your only fear, but they don't have the tiebreaker with BYU or Texas Tech with the outright
Yeah.
losses. But yeah, I don't know if
Actually,
Texas
that
Tech
kind
wins
of
this week.
screws me, doesn't that? Because if they both have 2 losses in conference play, it's going to be BYU, Texas Tech.
I think so.
Shoot. Well, that explains the 2,000.
Anyway, yeah, I'll keep this one fairly short. The only way you could play this is Utah. Only way you could play it. Well, I don't know. Actually, at this point, my thing here is I think this game opened like a touchdown, maybe 7.5, and now it's 10.5. I feel like I've just missed the line. It's moved up too many points for me to really
Yep.
get involved on Utah. So I guess really at this point, maybe the only way you could look is Cincinnati, but I don't think Cincinnati's the side. So we'll see what happens late tomorrow night. I don't know. I just think, at this point, I would be jumping in too late on Utah, but yeah, Utah is the better team here. Clearly, the line is showing you that. I forgot the stat, but the lower rated or the lower ranked team at home has covered the spread like an insane amount this season. I think they cover again. I think they win going away. I don't think the line move is going to matter, but just out of principle, if you're taking the worst of the number every single game, you're never going to make money. So just out of principle, I might stay away, or I might just make it a smaller play. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's got to be Utah minus the points for me.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's going to wrap up our top five matchups. Again, there's a much more matchups and also ways to make money in college football this weekend. I know we just want to talk about the top five games, but sometimes those are not the games to bet just because they're so public. It's hard to get a good read on them. Sometimes there's other games that have better options to bet. So make sure if you do want all of those picks, me and Ethan will try to do our best to post our plays on Twitter at eBainbridge26 and at Worst Bets. Those are our Twitter usernames. If you do want all of our college football plays, you can check those out. We do have a couple other important games. That 12 spot in the playoff is wide open. USF losing to Memphis last week. Memphis with a terrible loss to UAB. Tulane just got their second loss last night. We have undefeated Navy playing North Texas, who has one loss. So that 12 spot is, again, doesn't really matter because they're going to get smoked in round one, but it's for the bracket. It's super fun. So make sure you stay tuned for especially that Navy North Texas game. I will be in attendance for the Michigan game. Excited to watch that one, freezing my ass off. And a couple other games I'm looking forward to. For example, I'm probably going to take Cal on the money line against freaking Virginia. But a couple other games that are out there. But Ethan, do you have anything to add before we sign off for week 10?
Yeah, I forgot you're in Michigan, so you can actually bet against your Virginia
Yes.
boys.
And I can bet player props.
Nice. There you go. I'm sure you're gonna have a couple of those at the Michigan
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would just say and ask you, are we doing a live Saturday morning? Do you think?
Yes. It'll probably, if we can do closer to 9, that would probably work better. Yep.
Okay. So we'll probably
Yep.
be live. We'll make it fairly quick on Saturday. I
Yeah.
know we tend to run long. We'll make it fairly quick. So join us at 9 Saturday morning, a.m. Eastern. We'll go live. We'll talk about that Navy, North Texas. We'll talk about Cal, Virginia. We'll talk about some of the bigger games. We'll get Michigan, Purdue in there for see what Wyatt's betting before he goes to the game. So we'll talk about all those games. It's always fun. It's always a great way to start your morning. So join us there. And then hopefully we flip those records around this week. Instead of 1-4 and 2-3, we go 4-1, 5-0 both of us. So thanks for watching, guys, though. And yeah, I look forward to the Saturday live.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you do check over our page at Better in Green on YouTube. We just posted all of our NFL predictions for the week as well. We have college basketball starting next week. Me and Ethan are huge college basketball fans. He's a little bit more than I am at the moment. Once football is done, I'll be full throttle college basketball, but super exciting time there. We have NBA, we have NHL, we have UFC, MMA, we have soccer as well. So we cover it all. Better Green. If you are interested in more guys talking about sports and sports betting, make sure you do give us a follow and a subscription over here on YouTube. But we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on Saturday morning. See you guys.
Welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.